Oh my God, you guys, I cannot believe I can finally announce this. It has literally been years in the making, and just a couple months ago, it was one book, and now it's another. And for years, I was writing about my life, and then I got sick, and the malpractice, and all this stuff. And all that information is available. But what I wanted to write my book about was something that would bring light to people that were in a darkness that, like I was, for many, many years. And what makes me happy, what lights me up, is cooking really healthy meals. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I have so many recipes already there, but what I wanted to do was make them gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, meat-free, and just start with the basics. And obviously I eat all those things, you can add them in, but I wanted to create a really fun cookbook filled with delicious, healthy recipes, but at the same time offer guidance in the personal development area, provide some life lessons based on my own life, and then, just have a bunch of food and fun and a lot of facts served to you on a silver platter. So if you are ready to get organized, to be creative, and put in the work to take your business and life to that next level you deserve to be at, as well as create some delicious, healthy recipes, whether it's for you because you want to meal prep, or for your family, or for your friends for a girls' night in. Everything is Messy is exactly what you're going to need. So it is available to pre-order right now. So go to everythingismessy.com. You can read so much more in the book and everything that you'll get out of the pre-order. I am releasing never seen before recipes that aren't even going to be in the book, so they're exclusive to you. I have an exclusive community where I'm going to be doing like a live cooking show. I have chapters and edits and final edits and all of that good stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you in our private community. So just check out everythingismessy.com. You can read a lot more about why I decided to shift this way, and I'm just so pumped up about it. I'm so excited. And if you look on my Instagram, now that Reels is out, I've been posting so many more recipes, and I'm getting incredible feedback from my friends that are my taste testers, as well as everybody that's trying them on their own. So again, visit everythingismessy.com. You can pre-order the book today, and I'm so excited I can finally share this with you. Welcome to the Happy Workaholic Podcast. I'm your host, Kellyanne Gorman. Over the past 20 years, I've worked in beauty, luxury, corporate, and service-driven industries. I created the opportunity in these careers and in my own businesses that allowed me to travel the world, experience once-in-a-lifetime events, and build brands while providing my expertise to clients all around the globe. Life is short, and when you're given a second chance, you better believe I'm going to take it, celebrate it, and share it with you. This show is intended to elevate your mind, upgrade your business, enhance your life, and become part of a positive and uplifting community. If you're ready to take your business and life to that next level you deserve to be at, this is the show for you. Inspiration, motivation, and determination are what got me to where I am today. Tune in every week to hear from myself, other entrepreneurs, professional patients, small business owners, and fellow podcasters who will be featured on the show. I'm here to remind you to work hard, share your story, follow your dreams, and never, ever give up. Thanks for taking the time to subscribe to the Happy Workaholic Podcast. Today's episode starts now. Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode. I'm so excited to share another live episode. I'm recording live from PODMAX, our virtual 8-hour podcast convention. And on the line, I have my friend Dwight. And Dwight this is his third podcast interview. I'm so excited. We're all doing 3 a day. 3 today, I should say. And I'm so excited to have him on the show to talk about all things entrepreneurship, his business, and really finances throughout the pandemic I really want to get into. So Dwight, welcome.
Hi, Kellyanne. Appreciate you having me on your show.
My pleasure. Your business is Give a Heck Financial, and that is amazing. I can't believe you secured that .com, first of all.
Yes, I got .net as well.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you have to after that. You have to buy everything. It's so amazing. So I want to talk to you about your journey of owning your business and how you really got into the financial industry. Where did that start?
It all started originally. I was a computer consultant, and I was in the IT industry. I owned a computer consulting firm and a retail computer company, and I ended up having some major health concerns actually in 2001, shortly around when 9/11 happened. And the medical industry, the doctors told me I needed to leave that industry because, for every one person I'd help, I'd have 10 people that I just couldn't give enough time to. So they were always upset, and my stress level was to the max. And I got approached in 2002 and said, hey, you're great at relationship building. You're great with people. I think you'd be great at finance, and maybe that financial training that we're going to help you out with will help out your life. Because at that point in time, I was now divorced, 5 kids, joint custody, going back and forth. And I was living a life every single night of quiet desperation, wondering how I was going to pay support, how I was going to pay for myself to live, as well as supporting my kids, 4 daughters and a son. And, the pressures of life were getting to me. So I was going to bed at night in quiet desperation, hating life, right? So when my friend reached out to me and I seen that as an opportunity to leave the IT industry as a consultant and venture into something new, I grabbed at it, right? I could barely even spell finance, let alone, put myself out there as a financial expert. So, fast forward 17 years later, I live a mission and a motto of helping people live life on purpose, not by accident. And I've been doing that now for 17 years. It helped me. I ended up getting custody of my kids full time, raised them on my own, and without learning the strategies and concepts that helped me become a financial educator and planner, I probably wouldn't have survived once I had only one income and 5 kids to get to dance, soccer, gymnastics, and all the other things. So I really have a passion to want to help other families, whether they're single mom, single dad, or, husband, wife, or people just, with a significant other, not have to go to bed in quiet desperation, so that they can actually learn through strategies that I do for free to help them live life on purpose, not by accident.
I love that so much. And something else that I love is I was reading your bio, and we connected on LinkedIn and Facebook already, and something I saw is that you never quit. And the tagline to this show is work hard, share your story, follow your dreams, and never give up. Because I have the same philosophy and I live and breathe that. So besides your children, what was the one thing where your mindset, you were just like, no, like this is it. Like I can't give up. I have to keep moving.
What was the one thing besides my children?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I hate to say this, but that my kids are my biggest why, and they're always my biggest driver. So I can close my eyes and envision them looking up to me as little kids going, why can't we do this, Daddy?
Mm-hmm.
Why, Daddy, do we have to do this and that? So they were a big driver for me. But besides that, it was just me. I didn't like what I seen in the mirror. So take them out of the picture. It was me. I didn't like the reflection I seen back. I avoided when I brushed my teeth to look at myself. And I just didn't, I had that pit in my stomach where I just, I didn't feel good about my life. That quiet desperation I mentioned had taken a hold of me and gripped me. So besides my kids, it was just me. That was the biggest driver, because how could I help and develop them into, good human beings, good adults, or help others in my financial world if I didn't believe in me and I didn't have good self-worth? So that was my biggest driver, is to continue to develop me, to have more self-worth so that I could be confident and continue to build relationships with others and especially my kids, right? Help them.
Absolutely. Okay, you guys, I'm briefly interrupting this episode to fill you in on a company called Project Passport. Now, you may remember I had the pleasure of interviewing Sabria Dobbins, who is the creator and founder of Project Passport, on episode 195. So scroll back when you're done with this show and listen to that, because she has an incredible story. Project Passport is a mental empowerment retreat and event company designed to help you take control of your life and find the joy you're entitled to daily. Project Passport launched in 2019, and they are obsessed with creating a community of people who can stop wearing the masks of life and be real about their experiences. If this is you, you're going to want to keep listening. Each event and retreat is carefully created to combine elements of life discovery, self-development, mental wellness, and an immersion to produce an unforgettable experience that will result in positive life change. The life you want to live should not be on the tip of your tongue. You should be living it daily, and we are here to help that happen. That is what Project Passport is so obsessed about, and they are one of the companies among millions of others that have had to recently pivot because of the pandemic. And so what they're doing now is offering so many versions and types of wellness retreats online, and they are on fire. You guys have to give them a follow and connect with them today. All of their links will be in the show notes, and I cannot wait for you to learn more about them. Visit project-passport.com, and again, all their links will be in the show notes. Now back to today's episode. And I love that you're honest about, the quiet desperation. I mean, I've been there so many times, especially when I was sick and I was going through chemo, and I just never knew when my time was going to be up, and I was desperate, and I was always researching. I mean, I'd be curled up in a ball in my bed and researching the next thing or the next drug or the next doctor, and that's what I did. And then it turns out I was misdiagnosed, so then I had to research, the legal aspect all over again. And people don't really realize how much work you have to put in for yourself, for your own well-being. We have to focus on ourselves first, right? So that we can be the best for everybody else, so that you can be the best for your children, and then the best at your business. And the amount of time it takes to get your mind right when it's not, and get your head where it needs to be, and feel good about yourself when you're not, it takes a lot of work. And then doing that on top of a business, and then you also are raising 5 children, that's a lot. So what are some of the things some of the tools that you have incorporated into your personal life that you want to share that have helped you get to where you are right now?
Well, so this happened prior to me being separated and divorced. I started back in 1993 with a little book called How to Win Friends and Influence People, and another book called The Magic of Thinking Big. And then I needed to change my associations, because it seems when we have struggles in life, we attract other people that are having the same struggles, and that increase, not decrease, our negativity or our stress levels. I had to reach out and change my associations, not with just what I was putting into my brain, but who I was communicating with. And I found a couple good people that started feeding me, I'm going to date myself, cassette tapes. And then eventually that led into CDs, where I was listening to people like Les Brown, one of my absolutely love. I've been following him now for 27 years, and I had to do things like that. It was what I was reading, what I was watching. I stopped reading all media in 1993. I stopped reading all media, newspapers, stopped watching the news, realizing that people were going, well, you got to stay connected to that stuff. You got to know what's going on around the world. And I found that my clients didn't care anymore about knowing about that stuff or my knowledge than I did. It was always a deflection. When people talk about politics or the troubles that are going on in the world, it's a deflection from themselves, because they don't know how to work on themselves. So I just kept on realizing that I needed to continue to work on myself and have proper associations, not just with people. What was I feeding my brain? What was I watching on television? If I was watching television, what movies were I watching? Was I focusing on fiction life or nonfiction life?
That's so good. And it's so true. You really need to set boundaries and see, what it is that you want out of life or your business or your family, and take out what is getting in your way. So for me, I was on a mission throughout this pandemic to work my behind off, because I didn't want to look back and regret that I didn't accomplish things. So I worked harder than ever during this pandemic. I got out of debt. I have no bills. I have taken things away that are going to distract me from where I want to get in my business, such as Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime. All these little monthly payments add up. And if I just paid off all my debt, why am I going to pay these things where I'm on a mission? I need to be reading more books. I need to be working out more. I need to be listening to more personal development podcasts, or whatever I need to do for myself to make myself better and get to that next level. It's all about really sacrificing and knowing you have to take certain things out of your life in order to get you to where you need to be. And especially during the pandemic, I have crazy PTSD from being misdiagnosed, and I thought the first few weeks I was going to die if I even stepped outside my house. And then I got over that. And then, you know, with the news, and I'm in California, so it got really bad here. Like, we couldn't even go outside without a mask on, and all my clients are all over the world, and they have different scenarios where they live. And so it was really difficult for me to explain to them, like, what it was like being here throughout all of that. But then also, with the news, I only allowed myself to watch on Snapchat 2 minutes worth of NBC updates. That's it. No social media with the pandemic, because that was giving me anxiety and stressing me out. And I just didn't need that. Like, I needed to step away. And it's also really hard, you know, when your business is on the internet, to avoid those things that you see getting posted all the time. How much time is your business run on online? A lot of it is through social media, or you're more just digital, in person?
Well, I had already started pivoting, I want to say, in the last 3 years. So yes, my business is a lot of face-to-face, where I'm sitting with clients locally, because I do all these things for free, helping them learn how to live life on purpose, and budgeting, and help goal set for their lives, like goal set outside of just finance, just goal set and have a purpose. But, you know, I looked at the fact of what's going on in my business in the last few years, and I already started using Zoom in the last 2 to 3 years. So somebody could live 3 hours away from me. I live in Edmonton in Canada, and Calgary's 3 hours away from me. Kelowna is in BC. That's 12 and a half hours away from me. And I'd actually help people through Zoom. I do all the same things I do face to face. And then I started learning how to do my business electronically, starting to help them do investments, starting them to help develop their pension plans, started helping them put in life insurance in place. So the last few years, about 30, maybe 35% of my business has all been electronically. So fast forward to what's happened with COVID, I realized that I wanted to take my talents of helping people and build relationships and goal set beyond where I could sell just products. I didn't want it to be just, you know, stuck to a couple provinces in Canada where I'm selling products and helping the odd family out. I wanted to go on a global mission, and I knew I needed to do something differently. And in February, I already knew who Tony Watley was. Tony and I became friends through Aritize Syndicate. I'm one of the founding people of a syndicate. I'm in my third year. Yeah, so I got involved with Tony, and then in February, Tony created a group called 365 Driven Society. He has an entrepreneur group that's called 365 Entrepreneurs. That's thousands of people, but he created an exclusive group, and I joined it immediately. And just before COVID hit, he put us on a challenge of creating our personal brand, creating videos on a live basis. And I haven't missed a day since March 1st. If you go on my Facebook, you'll see I post videos. You go on my IGTV channel, YouTube, you can find me. I post every single day in order to get confidence so that I can continue to grow the brand that Tony helped me create, because the group was trying to help me figure out, what are you going to call yourself? Where are you going to go from here? What, you know, you want to move forward, and this is what you need to do. And Give a Heck was something that Tony come up with, because I couldn't get What the Heck. The domain didn't exist. Couldn't get the trade name in Canada. Couldn't get it incorporated. Couldn't do any of that. So Tony reached out to me and said, hey, I did a search. You can get Give a Heck. Well, within hours of him doing that, I'd already secured the domain for .com and .net. And that's where it developed from there. And I eventually want Give a Heck to be a portal, so that when you go to my website, you can still access me if you're local on Give a Heck Financial. And then I'll have Give a Heck coaching. So somebody can access me from Hawaii. I have a couple people that actually want to utilize me in Hawaii to help them learn how to goal set, how to budget, how to live life on purpose, not by accident. And I eventually want my finance business, which has been helping support my life, to be my side hustle on the side. And I want my main goal to be going out and making a difference and on a global basis, you know. And I'm willing to do that for free, for like Tony and Art who talks about it. Are you willing to sacrifice and invest for 1 to 2 years and not make any money off of it? If you're not, then that's not really a good place for you to go. You're not really passionate about it. You're just, if you want to monetize something right away, you're doing the wrong thing. So that's what I've done during COVID. And how I got to that point was, like I said, I changed and pivoted back in the year of 9/11, right after that.
That's such a great story. And God, it's such a small world, because I was going to do the syndicate last year. Yeah, last year. But I was in the middle of my medical malpractice cases. So my head was not where it needed to be because I was buried in legal work. But
the registration just closed for the new year too.
I saw that too. I know. I still was working on it. So maybe next year, but timing is everything. And, congratulations to you for showing up live on your challenge, because that's really hard. And I've been podcasting for 3 years. So to do live video, I do a lot of video on LinkedIn, but I used to do a lot of lives on Facebook, but now podcasting is my bread and butter and what I do all day and production. So my video is, I'm always on Instagram stories. That's probably my number one, and LinkedIn would be 2 and Facebook would be 3 for me, marketing wise. And just showing up live is tough. It takes a lot. And I just want to share with you, I'm not sure if you know this, but you're sitting on a ton of content that's video that you can actually repurpose into podcast episodes. So down the road, if you ever want a podcast, you probably have 50, if not more, podcast episodes already ready to go. And that's the great thing with video and audio as well. Is all you need to do is convert the files, and then you have a whole new piece of media to market and funnel and sell your product. So the fact that you did all these live videos, you have so much content that's amazing, and you can repurpose it and then really spend the time doing what you want next. That's awesome.
I'm committed to Tony challenged. There was 160 of us originally that were challenged March 1st. And as far as I know, I'm still the only person doing it live every single day. I have two phones. I do live Instagram. You'll see it like live to IGTV and live to Facebook. And I made a commitment to do it 365 days, just like his name of his company, 365 Driven. And in regards to the podcast, I want to have a podcast up and running, let's say within 3 to 4 weeks. Tony's already got people that he's had on his podcast. We have access to watching Tony do his podcast through this 365 Driven Society. Mm-hmm. We get to watch him do his podcast. And then once the podcast is done recording and he shuts the mic off for that, we get to ask his guests live questions. And he's lined me up with some pretty famous people that want to be on my podcast that have reached out to me. Right? Another guy that's his name is, I actually have his book in front of me, Leader of the Pack. His name's Matt Sweetwood. And Matt is actually was a single dad of 5 kids, and he got from 8 to 15 months old when his wife took off and he had to raise the kids on his own. He reached out and said he wants to be my first podcast interview. So, and then there's a few others that Tony has that I've communicated with on his recordings of his podcast. And so I'm quite excited. So you're right. I didn't think about what you're saying, though, that all my videos could be great content for my podcast. So I never thought about that, stripping the audio off, because if you look, I've done 130 some days now.
Yeah, I know. So, you have so much content just sitting there. So say you want to take a whole season off, you don't even have to get on the mic. You're just sitting on a whole catalog, which is amazing.
Can you imagine? Man, you've got me excited. I can't imagine 365 days. So March 1st, 2021, when I've done 365 days, I can't imagine, right? And some days I struggle to have content, but most days it's not hard. Conversation with one of my adult kids, or a client will reach out to me, or I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I can't imagine. Even the podcast of yours that I listened to yesterday, what was her name? Lauren? Yeah. The one you just did recently on July 8th, like day before yet. Lauren Liz Love. I'm just looking at
the holistic healing, yes.
Yes, what an amazing podcast. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I like celery, by the way, so I like the fact you talked about celery juice. My daughter is an RN. She just finished and graduated here in December, and she's an RN in Canada. And she's been bugging me, Dad, you need to start detoxing with celery juice. And because I've been living a keto lifestyle for 2.5 years, I know that came up in your podcast too about keto lifestyle.
Yeah.
There's a way you got to live it properly though, right? And I'm a tenacious person. I'm very analytical that way. So I've been doing it successfully for 2.5 years. I love celery. I eat it pretty much every day of the week. And she said, Dad, you love celery anyway. You need to get into juicing it. And when I was smiling ear to ear when I heard you say that on the podcast.
Oh my God, that's so funny. You know, you have to research the medical medium. He's going to blow your mind. But the thing with keto, so I have a lot of clients that are food and body coaches, I have a lot of friends that are health and fitness coaches, and you know, one of them does paleo, one does keto, but the common thread with keto is you have to stick with it like you're doing. Otherwise, the minute you put a carb in your mouth, it messes up the whole ketosis process. And my friend has these keto products that she sells, and she was explaining them to me one day, and I didn't truly understand like doing keto. And I kind of do the opposite. So like when I crave a burger, like I'm definitely having a burger. But for me, like my healing process, like, you know what you're craving, what your body needs. So I need like all the fruits and vegetables possible. So the thing with the celery juice is, you know, everybody goes out and buys these like $500 juicers. I just use I have my cup in front of me. What is this? My Ninja. And I blend the celery. But the most important thing with the celery juice is that you have to have it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach for it to work the way that it's supposed to. And I sacrificed my delicious iced coffee that I have to have first thing in the morning and made that celery juice work for me, because I've done so many shows about it too, just with the benefits. And, you know,
I
obviously
wish you could see me. I'm smiling right now because I'm looking at my notes. I got medical medium, celery juice to detox, and gave up for iced coffee. I got it in my notes, I swear to you.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had to make it work for me.
It was awesome.
Thank you so much. And another thing about your future podcast is, say, here's another helicopter. I live right by the beach, so they're all on their missions right now. You know, we're recording for the I Chose This Live series. My show is very different. I started it for one main reason, and then I've rebranded my show a couple times. I've pivoted my series. This is why I've created series, because I have different types of guests I want to interview. So all together, it doesn't really make sense. So the number one thing I want to tell you is there's no rules in podcasting. So you can do it however you want, where you want, and that's it. Because I have 18 shows that I've done right now, and I'm going to be at 20 probably by next week, and then I'm done. So I've created 18 different shows. I've syndicated them all. I've written the scripts for them, done the music, like anything, designed the website, like all of it. And the best thing about you having all this content is that, say you decide to go in a direction and just have like only interviews, right? Well, then the content you're sitting on, you can organize them and create series out of all those live videos. So you don't have to just like randomly throw them up, like create a series on like certain topics and then pull your videos. And then it's like, boom, 3 months of shows. It's amazing having a podcast, because especially when you're sitting on content already, because then you can actually take the time and research your guests and really enjoy conversations like you and I are having now, where, you know, you already have a list of guests. So this show was featured in a publication 2 weeks ago, and within 24 hours, I had over 100 submissions. 100.
Wow.
And now I'm at like 140 something. And the thing is, like, it's going to be your show, and not every guest is going to be for your show. And the best part is that you get to decide. So obviously you already want to have on the guests because you're already included in that group, and they're going to make amazing guests, and you're going to just have like great conversations, especially with the first guest. You both have 5 children. That's amazing. So you're definitely aligned.
Oh yeah.
I think that your show is going to be so good. I already know it. I can already feel it.
I appreciate the vote of confidence. I definitely am nervous, and now you've added not more nervousness, you've added more confidence to me in the fact that I was worried about content, and really the content that I share now on a daily basis and for the last 130 days is my life, and it's connected to, like I said, clients, family, random conversations with people, even that you meet out in public and they say something and it'll resonate with me, and I quickly put it in my phone. And I know I've listened partially to one of your podcasts, and I wish I would have wrote it down, where you talk about using notes on your phone and
yes.
What else? I can't remember. It's something recent.
Voice memos. It's voice memos. No, it was my 3 apps that I use on my phone to run my business on the go. It was voice memos, my notes section, and then what was the other one? Oh, I forget now.
Remember, but I haven't finished it yet because I only got the list of who was interviewing me like late yesterday, and I worked until 10 last night. So I started listening to podcasts of yours and the other 2 people at like 10 o'clock last night, and I stayed up till 2 a.m. and I had to be up at 6.
I know.
So
I gotta get up at.
Sure, I gave the effort to the people that were interviewing me so that I was, connected to you in some way.
Yeah, and I love that you do that too. Like, it really does make a difference when you're interviewing somebody or talking with a client. I am a research queen. Like, I research everything because, I don't know, I just need to. I've always been like that. And it just makes...
I got that in my notes about you.
Yeah.
You talked about it. And I resonated with you because I'm tenacious that way too. I do not do anything, buy anything, or approach anything without researching the crap out of it. And some people tell me I'm too analytical that way.
No, but it just makes sense. So here's an example. So one of my clients, she was going to buy her new podcast microphone. And she said, which is the one you use? I just want to buy that. And then she said her VA found this one on Amazon, and it was like $200 something, like super inexpensive. And it was a whole setup tower that sits on your desk, and you can plug in different USBs. I think there was 4, but it was a mic, a pop filter, and a camera. And it was this whole contraption. And it was so funny because of COVID, all the podcast mics, the prices went up. But I can't even tell you the last time I looked at a price of a microphone because I don't need to, because I already have all mine. And so when I went on, I was like, oh my God, of course they're increased because everybody's living their best life on Zoom right now. We're all in lockdown. So she sent me this code.
What was it, by the way?
I forget the name, but it didn't have good reviews. But I started researching it, and I said, oh my God, I want that too. But we couldn't buy it because it was sold out. And so I said, did you look at the reviews? And so then I finally looked at the reviews. I think there was like 45 of them. And the power in the USB was awful. The sound was low. Like, none of them were good. Maybe like 2, maybe.
Okay.
And so I was like, this is why you have to do your research. I said during text, I said, you better start researching your guests.
Coming from the IT industry, I'm incredibly electronics, computer tech nerd, right? So, yeah.
See, I'm not. See, I appreciate that because I'm not. And I have to, really research on another level and make sure I'm getting like what I want. But I just have a Blue Yeti. I've had it for... Do you know, I actually recorded over 100 episodes of this show on my iPhone, and then I make it sound amazing in production. So when I bought my mic, I bought it just a basic Blue Yeti, and it's actually blue before they came out with all those fancy colors. And this was before you could get syndicated to iHeartRadio. I had to pitch iHeartRadio. This was over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. And I said, I set a goal, as soon as iHeartRadio finally picks up my show, I'm going to buy myself that mic. So that's what I did.
Oh, wow.
But I still record some of my episodes on my iPhone. I mean, we're on my iPhone recording in Audacity now. The mic is so good. If you know what you're doing in the production aspect, you're good to go. So I can record.
See, I don't know any of that. I do everything on my iPhone. I got 2 iPhones. One, like I said, live to Instagram and or IGTV, and one live to Facebook. And I've never had anybody complain that the audio sucks.
It's so good.
Can't see. Yeah, I love my iPhones, but I'm an Apple freak because my one daughter works for Apple too.
Oh, no way. Oh, you have an in. Yeah. You know what? I love using my phone even more now because I have the brand new SE, the one that came out after the 11. It has the button back on the bottom. So it's the size of the 8 with the button, but inside has the brain of the 11 Pro.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it because I couldn't deal with that swipe. I needed the button. I was the one that needed the button on the bottom.
I got a 10S Max, and then I have a 6S Plus still from my old phone.
Oh my God, me too. I have that one sitting right here next to me, my 6S. That's so funny.
Yeah, and I use that. I use my, because it had a great mic, a great camera, the 6S Plus, and right. So I'm using a PC. I'm on a PC right now because in my finance industry, a lot of companies don't support Apple.
Yeah.
And so otherwise, 90% of my day, I do all my emails and messaging on my iPad that has a Bluetooth keyboard, and then I have my iPhone. I really only use my PC when I have no choice. But yeah, I like Apple products.
Yeah, I do. So years ago, I had a PC and a Mac, but I'm definitely a PC girl, but an iPhone, Apple for devices on the go. And honestly, the only time I use my laptop, well, I write a lot because I'm in the process of writing my book. And so I write, I type, but production, I'm on Audacity on my laptop. But everything else, I do the same. Like, unless I need to, I don't even know what else. Yeah, honestly, like everything is on my iPhone. I purposely created a business that I could work anywhere, anytime from my iPhone. So really the only thing I need to do is produce shows on my PC and upload them. But everything else I can do on my iPhone, which is so amazing.
Well, you said on the one podcast you have your media kit on your phone. You make sure that you have everything.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can do it from your phone. I caught that on that too.
Oh, yeah. And the Books app.
Yeah.
That's like my third favorite app.
I wanted to get through 3 podcasts for every single person. I got through one of Rocky's, 2.5 of yours, and then I got through part of Lewis's, 1.5 of his, right? But then by 2 a.m. I was just done.
I know. I think I went to bed, so I had to get up at 4:30, and I think I finally fell asleep at like 12. It was rough. You know, it's funny. I have a friend in Kelowna, and then I have a client in Saskatchewan.
Oh, really?
Kind of near you.
I have lots of relatives in Kelowna.
Yeah, it's nice. I have yet to visit though. So going back.
Oh gosh, you gotta go.
I know, I need to. And she always has her gloves on, and she's always, lately, it's so cold where she is. So if somebody was to come to you and hire you, like what steps, like what are the top 3 questions that you ask them, like what their concerns are?
When I first talk to them, I ask them, I literally will sit with them. Normally, if I'm on a Zoom call, normally I'm sitting in front of them. I'll pull out a sheet and I'll say, you know what, before we can have a conversation, I need to know where you're at in your life. I want to know what you need help with. And before I make it verbal in detail, I literally put a goal sheets in front of them, and I ask them to select the top 3 goals that they find are concerning for their life. So if they're an individual, they get 1 sheet. If they're a couple, they each get their own, and I ask them not to look at each other's because I want to know where each person's at, where the wife or the husband or if it's just, a couple, 2 significant others. I want to know what their concerns are. Then I spend the next 1.5 to 2 hours breaking down their goals and asking them questions and taking notes and using the 5 W's to break down exactly where they're at. And by asking them those questions, I develop that relationship with them, and I'm able to assess where they're at to know where I'm going to go with the 2nd, 3rd, 4th meeting, right? Whether or not they, how much level they need. And a lot of times initially it isn't about the numbers and money. It's about helping them with their 6 inches between their ears, connect with their heart. And again, back to that quiet desperation thing, I give them hope. It is such a powerful thing, right? And you have, somebody that that's going to support you and be your coach, your life coach. I've had people at the end of the first meeting tell me, you know what, I already feel better. And if they don't say anything, I'll ask them, we're about to wrap up this meeting, we'll book a second meeting. I just have a question for both of you. Don't feel pressured to be positive. You can be negative. Do you feel any better after this first meeting? Do you have it, has this made you feel any better? Because after the last 2 hours, you've poured your hearts out, your emotionally energy is down, you look wiped. But I need to leave here knowing that, you're going to be okay, that I haven't made things worse for you. Because if that's the case, then maybe I'll give you more time so we can work out some more of this stuff, or you can ask more questions. and then you get honest responses from people, right? And a lot of times they'll say, you've made, thank you so much, and you're leaving, I get hugs and, high fives, handshakes, and if it's virtual, you see them beaming from ear to ear because they know that I'm sincere, genuine, and I'm not going to leave them behind.
That's so good. Okay, guys, just interrupting this episode super, super quick. I wanted to remind you that my YouTube channel is live. I'm so excited. This has literally been years in the making. I have a ton of content already sitting there, but I also have a lot more getting ready to be pushed out. So head to youtube.com/Kellyanne Gorman. You can see everything there. Don't forget to like and comment on some previous videos. Show me some love. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like me to film for you. And don't forget to subscribe so that you get notified as soon as my next video goes live. The link will be in the show notes. Again, it's youtube.com/Kellyanne Gorman. I cannot wait to see you over there. And finally, literally years in the making, be able to share with you all this content I've been sitting on and brand new content, especially regarding my cookbook, Everything is Messy, which, by the way, head to everythingismessy.com and you can pre-order today. I cannot wait to share more videos with you over on YouTube, so I will see you there. Now let's get back into today's episode. Now, where can everybody find you on the internet?
All social media platforms, Instagram, Heckster67, but you can search my name, Dwight Heck. You can find me on LinkedIn, as you know. Same thing. I'm on all platforms. You can find me on YouTube. I haven't renamed my channel yet because I thought I was going to be able to get the URL. It's called What the Heck. You can look for it, but you can search for my name, absolutely, Dwight Heck. So 2 platforms I'm not on that I'm active is on Snapchat and TikTok, right? So, and I don't plan on going on to either of them. Maybe in the future I will, but I don't see the value in them for what I'm doing. But yeah, Instagram is probably the number one place to look for me. IGTV, obviously, if you go to Instagram and you find me, you'll see all my videos, the snippets, and it leads to IGTV to watch. My videos are average of anywhere from 4 minutes to as high as 10 minutes. But yeah, the best place to find me are your 2 big major ones, Instagram and Facebook. But I post my videos on YouTube every day. They're posted up to LinkedIn every single day. Right? And I know sometimes people say LinkedIn isn't the best place. I had an application in already for 2 months to do live videos to them. It still hasn't been approved. And I've been told by Tony this took 8 months. So
yeah, it's taking a long time.
Live there.
I mean, there's hundreds of millions of members. I think it's like 645. I'm still waiting too, and I probably did mine 8 months ago, and I've been active on there for like 12 years. So it's all in the hands of LinkedIn. Thank you so much for your time. I'm so glad we connected. I'm so glad you came on the show. And you guys, all of Dwight's information and his links so that you can connect with him right away on his YouTube channel, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. All of those links will be in the show notes, so make sure you connect. Thank you so much, Dwight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and your compassion. And I really appreciate getting to know you better. And I'm proud of you for the journey you've gone through and where you've come out at the end.
Thank you so much for saying that. And thank you for listening to my show before we even chit-chatted.
No problem. I appreciate you.
Your time is so valuable, and I really appreciate you carving out a little piece of your day to listen to today's episode. If you liked this one, please share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this message. And don't forget to tag me at The Happy Workaholic on Facebook and Instagram so I can feature you on my stories. Listening on Apple Podcasts? I would love it if you would leave me a review on today's show. Your input means so much and also helps me create more of the content you'll love. Want to continue today's conversation? You can join us in the Happy Workaholic Network Facebook group. Simply answer the questions and you're in. For more information on myself and to get the latest in business, LinkedIn, organizing, and podcasting news, sign up to receive my weekly newsletter at thehappyworkaholic.com. I hope that your day continues to be happy, healthy, positive, and productive, and I'll talk to you again soon.